You know, there's so many producers that we've been working with for so long, so many great producers, so many gifted, talented producers in their fields that once in a while you forget. You know what I mean? It's like you just take them for granted, you know? And this is one of those producers which we just sell year in and year out, brilliant wines at brilliant prices, fantastic press. They hammer it every year, and we just take it for granted. And I got to say, the other day, you know, we put the white wine on our tasting machines back here in our new wine bar, and I poured myself an ounce, and I was like, shit, this is so good, right? Like even you can still be impressed by the stuff that has always impressed you for decades, and that's the way it was with Pesquier. And like after tasting the wine, I was like, okay, no, we have to do this. But the point is, they're just as brilliantly gifted with red and white wines from their very special perch up on the foothills of Mont Ventoux that you can't not do both of them, right? And usually we'll just put one wine in front of you, maybe, you know, but in this case, we really had to kind of put them both in together as the package today, because they're this particular range of wines, in America, we would say quintessence, and there in France, they would kind of say quintessence, which I'm butchering right now, and all of you French folks watching YouTube, do not roll me over the coals for that one, okay? But yeah, this particular range of wines from Pesquier is really outstanding. So we're gonna start with the white real quick. Actually, it's still on tap on our wine bar here, so I'm just gonna run over here and stick my card in and grab a quick ounce. And this is the 2022 Pesquier Quintessence Blanc, and it is a blend of mostly Roussanne with a bit of Clairette. And we get to talk about a couple different really happening grape varieties in the Rhone Valley right now, because Roussanne, you know, don't tell anybody, but I think I almost like the Roussanne from the southern Rhone better than the northern Rhone. And I know Roussanne in the northern Rhone has informed the great wines of Hermitage and many other great wines in the northern Rhone for decades, but I like the ease of the Roussanne in the southern Rhone. It's a more relaxed grape in the southern Rhone. And when you combine it with Clairette, which Clairette is becoming immensely popular right now because of the natural acid structure of the grape and that buttressing support it provides to the Roussanne and Viognier and some of these other grapes that can get a bit in the warmer years, it makes the perfect couple. This wine just blew me away the other day off the machines here. It does so again because you get mineral from the Roussanne. You get this deep, almost feral mineral core from the Roussanne as a big grape. It makes, you know, big, dense style white wines. And then the Clairette comes in and just kind of does this whole, like, you know, hey, I got you, kind of gives it a little push up. And it creates this just beautiful, perfect white wine. No new oak, neutral vessels, I think concrete. There could be some demi-muid here, like the 600-liter larger barrels for the Roussanne. I could totally see that, with something a bit more neutral for the Clairette. And it just epitomizes what a super tasty, dynamic, white Southern Rhone wine can be. You know, the Ventoux, they're at elevation. They have these chalky soils. Everything just works to create a really dynamic white wine. And we'll get to the prices later, but just a really great dynamic white Rhone wine that you just want to drink gallons of. Obviously, I'm tickled pink with it. You know, and their Quintessence range it's not their highest end. They got higher end wines, but for some reason, to me, this range of wines from Pesquier is right in the pocket for me. The other ones can sometimes be a bit too bistro-y. The high-end wines from them can sometimes almost be a bit too tannic or a bit too severe, a bit too sullen. And this range from them is, man, it's in the pocket. Gorgeous, gorgeous white wine. Beautiful. And they're red. The red is iconic. This is the red, the story goes, the family, the Chonier family, they you know, it's funny, the importer at the time, or still now, Eric Solomon, had a lot more faith in them than I think that they had in themselves. And Eric kind of convinced them, hey, you have great Syrah here at this high elevation. And you know, the Ventoux, you're around the corner from like Gigondas, you know, you're up in the Ventoux, like where the Tour de France is, like that whole 9 yards. And Syrah does really well up here, better than it does on the valley floor in the southern Rhone Valley. So here, the Syrah can play kind of main, you know, the big boss, the top guy, just like it does in the northern Rhone, because of this elevation, because of their soils. And here you have a mostly Syrah cuvee with a touch of Grenache. The Syrah vines here are 50 plus years old, right? So that's really old Syrah for the southern Rhone Valley. Old Syrah anywhere, hell's bells. But in the southern Rhone Valley, that's really old Syrah. So you have great old vine Syrah, you have great old vine Grenache, growing at altitude, and a bit of new oak in this one, right? So the Syrah can actually take that this classic small new barrel. So there's, could be half new oak in this wine, but it takes it. Loves it. Meaty, gamey, sauvage. Not as gamey as Saint Joseph in the northern Rhone. Okay, to give you some perspective, the meat character here is more subdued, but still in there as a telling note of the fact you're drinking Syrah. Like blind, you're like, oh yeah, Syrah. And then the Grenache kind of comes in and does its whole kind of like, hey, how you doing? I'm gonna make you friendlier. You know, like Grenache is just a great wingman for Syrah from the southern Rhone. You know, like just perfect. Yes. Actually, the funny thing today is the Grenache is really, really creating that juicy, unctuous center in the wine, right? It's not all like stoic Syrah. The Grenache is ample here. Must have been a hell of a vintage for Grenache 2020. I mean, it's an outstanding vintage in Southern Rhone Valley, but the Grenache here today, at this point in time, is just manifesting and creating this just lush yet focused Syrah-based red, but like that you just chucked a bunch of Chateau into. You know what I mean? Like, boy, is it good. Both these wines are completely banging today. What an absolute treat. And you know, these guys are, well, you got Chêne Bleu, you got a couple of guys up on Ventoux, but really, these guys are like the Ne Plus Ultra for wines from the Ventoux, which is a great Rhone appellation. The top dozen producers or so working up there that aren't larger concerns or co-ops, whatever, are producing super compelling wines at still incredibly reasonable prices. Both these wines are like 22 bucks. They got huge press. Look them up. You can look them up on our website. Monster scores, monster everything with this stuff. The wines are beautiful. They're supple. They're engaging. They're juicy. They're delicious. They're cheap. That is so Wine Exchange. That's like what we do, baby. Two incredible wines from Chateau Pesquier. Again, bless you guys. You guys are remarkable. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't you dare stop by these wines. Amazing.